Hi community, goal achievers, how you all doing? I'm going to talk about taking risks and what your risk appetite is, and we'll explore a little bit about what is a risk, when to take a risk, the ethics of risks. Is it even a risk? That a lot of confusion at times over. Is it actually a risk, or you're just procrastinating and avoiding making decisions, right? Because here's the thing, right? We all make decisions, right, in life. Even not making a decision is making a decision, because if you don't make any decisions and you just decide, I'm just not making any decisions, things, the time doesn't stop, things still happen. So you're still making decisions, because no decision is still making a decision, right? And really, the title of today's live, which is about, it's almost like when to be cautious and when to take a risk. I've always been a risk taker myself. Obviously, being very, very prone to taking risks, you can get into a lot of scrapes and trouble and this, that, and the other. You have a lot more happen. But I do also believe the more risks you take, the more opportunities you've got for getting success. Getting further on quicker. You can basically just accelerate progress through taking risks. Now, I did a great video last year in the summer called, I put a link in the description, it's called, it's all about making tough decisions. Let's go going to City in Liverpool this Sunday then, mate. I have no idea, because being honest, I was a Liverpool fan, right? This is just a question about the football, City and Liverpool. I have no idea, right? I used to be a Liverpool fan, but I just basically gave it up. I just decided football was a bit of a distraction and stopped watching it. Nothing against it. I just can't be arsed watching it, to be honest now, mate. So I more than likely will not watch the football. But City Liverpool, right? Hang on, I'm going to answer it. From what I know right now, I think Liverpool will get the win. I think right now, with the mindset they've got, I think they'll get the win. Right. Let me know if you think I'm wrong. Anyway, back to taking risks, right? There's something on that video that I did in the summer, which is called, it's all about making tough decisions, right? And one of the things that, right, here's when you should take a risk. I'm not a City fan. No, my dad's a City fan, mate. I'm kind of a Liverpool fan, but I just stopped watching football. My dad's a big City fan, so he'll be watching it. I won't be watching it. So yeah, on that video that I did about making tough decisions, I pointed out something where one of the times that you should make the decision on doing something like take the risk is what you're looking for is an asymmetrical upside. What that means is most people will generally avoid taking a risk or making a decision unless the upside is at least 1.5 to 2.5 times, in favor of the upside on getting the win. So you want to look for asymmetrical upside, and what you want to do is you want to be conscious of it. You shouldn't need it to be 2.5 times the upside. You shouldn't need the upside to be 2.5 times the downside, the chance of the downside, in order for you to take that risk. So you want to look at your, this is like loss aversion, you know what I mean? You want to look at, train yourself to go for it, even if it's a slight chance. And when taking risks as well, you've got to look at it. Is it actually a risk? Most things that we do are not really taking risks. They're just taking action, you know. It's like taking risk on investing in something, right? Investing, whether that's a new business or investing in, say, a stock or a commodity or something like this, right? That is basically just that. You're looking at the asymmetrical upside. You're saying, right, okay, does this, let's say you're going to create a new business, right? And you think, shit, should I leave my job? Right? Which is a massive decision. So the size of the stakes matter as well, because if it's something really minimal and small, does it matter really? Just flipping do it from an experiment point of view. I mean, don't take crazy risks, but you know, if the stake isn't so bad, then it's easy for you to take a risk on such where the asymmetrical upside is only slight. Whereas if it's something major like leaving your job to go and start a business, yeah, you might want the asymmetrical upside to be 1.5, 2.5 times the downside there. Or you might even be so risk averse that you're going to do it anyway. And that's fine, right? But part of taking, so let's just look at that one. Part of taking that risk to leave your job to start a business, which is something I had to do, right? It was really scary. But the chances of me, because I'd landed a contract before I did it, I'd already got the contract, so it was like, right, it's not guaranteed money, but the chances of not getting money to replace the salary was quite small. So you have to look at the logistics of it, you know, the logic of it. Is it worth taking a risk, right? Like there are other worse risks. So like when you start a business and it's like, let's say a service sector, and all you're doing is the same job that you do in your employed position, but you're going to do it from a self-employed position. That is not really a big risk because you've already got the skills, you're already in the business. The only difficulty is finding a client. So if you manage to find a client, right, and you line that client up and you send them a proposal, right? So you keep your job, don't just jack your job in. Keep your job, get a proposal in, get that agreed. Then really you've got to look at it and go, right, am I confident in my ability to deliver this work? And as long as you're confident and you can bet on yourself, you can take that risk. That is not a risk. That is very calculated. That's just, to me, that's just taking action to further your aims and hit your goals. That's taking the right action in life because you're betting on yourself, you know yourself and all that, right? If, say, you had a really good job and you were looking at starting a business and it was brand new and it was e-commerce and you had to start from scratch, that is a massive risk, right? You don't want to be jacking that job in at that point. So I would say that absolutely takes a long time to scale up, and there's no, very, very long time before you replace your income. So I would suggest in that case, keep your job, right, and run it on the side or whatever. Sometimes you have to work quite hard to do that. So the stakes in this really matter, and also the example I gave there was if you're swapping your job, what you do for your job, in exactly the same type of work. Let's say you're, I don't know, a plumber, right? You're either employed by a company or you start up on your own as a plumber, right? And let's say you get some clients. That is an easy transition because you're just doing like for like. The only thing that's different is you're taking matter into your own hands. If you're completely context switching, you're going from plumber to selling e-commerce, right? Shout me out. Hello, Stevie Lee Brett. Shout you out, mate. How you doing? So the difference there is you're completely context switching, and you're going from something that is service based, which you just need a client and quickly do, to something where it's going to take a lot of scaling up from scratch. No worries, it's going to take you a lot of scaling up from scratch. You've got no sort of background or experience in that. That is a risk, right? So I mean, my personal opinion, I like taking risks. I think it's the best thing you could do, but you should try and calculate those risks out. So, do a business plan, look at cash flow, maybe keep your job until this business gets going, all them kind of things. You can almost rule out, you can do as much as you can. Like, no one can guarantee you success, right? All you can do is create the conditions for success. Right, and in creating the conditions for success, that's how you create your own luck as well. Right, so you do the right things, you create a plan, right, and this is, create a plan, like create a set of goals for it. I always do this in my journal. Obviously, a journal for goal achievement. That's what it's for. Create your goals in there, set a plan, and because you've got that plan, you can start working towards them every day. So consistency. Every day working towards your plan. But you have to look at all sorts, like look at cash flow, look at all these things, right? Now, obviously you can take a risk. You don't have to take a risk can be in anything, right? It doesn't have to be a financial risk, although financial risks tend to sort of, they're a bit more predictable how people behave, with that loss aversion, needing the upside to be 1.5 to 2.5 times the downside is generally a predictable model on how most people will behave. Those that are more risk averse will be at the 2.5 times. Those that are used to taking risks will be nearer the 1.5 times. My personal opinion is you should try and get that down to sort of like 1.25 if you can, and take more risks. Just because in taking risks in life, I think that this is how it's almost like the agile methodology, fail early. So you want to take small risks. So don't wait until the stakes are so high, like it's a catastrophic life event, like getting divorced or something like this. Don't wait like that. You should have ended that relationship much sooner and took the risk much sooner. So there's always a time to take that risk, and it's generally when the stakes are small. So, and I would say it's like the agile methodology, fail early, keep taking risks, look at the asymmetrical upside, and just go for it, right? And almost train yourself to do that. Take many small risks. And another shout out. All right, go on then, Joey. Shout out to Joey here. He wants a shout out, no worries. So, yeah. Train yourself to take risks when the stakes are small, right? Get used to doing that, and you can do this in every area of your life, even like relationships. Yeah, so like the fear of leaving a relationship is quite hard for a lot of people, and I'm a big believer that you should always try and stick. No worries, you should always try and stick it out, right? And just look at it rationally. And if you're in a relationship that can be fixed, you should always go for it. Make that your goal. But if you're truly in the wrong relationship, you're better to get out as quick as possible. However, that can be hard to do because scarcity and everything's scarcity of losing our job, losing our relationship, all this kind of thing. So the more risks you take, small risks when the stakes are small, the better you're going to be. The more experience you get, you fail early, like the agile methodology, and you get a massive amount of experience. You want many, because every time you fail, to me, it's not really a failure. It's pivoting direction. You're ruling something out. You're like, I've tried that. It's not quite right. I'm just going to tweak. Because pivoting really is still going towards your goals, but it's like you're just course correcting, you're just, oh, that's not the right way. I'll go that way. I'll try this. And you're making many, many small risks along the way, taking many small risks. Now, I'm also a big fan of taking big risks like this, but they're not really risks. They're all like calculated risks. So like I like taking big risks in business, right? And this is how you really get somewhere, right? So I used to always think that, like, as long as you have behind the scenes, you have something that is solid, like a solid foundation. And that might be you've got great skills, you've got a good house or somewhere to live, family backing you, a lot of people in your corner. And if you're going to take a risk in business, you need to make sure you've got some, let's say, something liquid that you can get your hands on really quick. So you don't need loads of money. Obviously, if you've not got any money, then you still take risks. I mean, flipping out, what you got to lose, right? But just make the stake small. But if you do have a bit of money saved up, or you've got access to like liquid cash, you should try and leverage it, right? Look at your skills and look to take a big risk, because being too cautious will not get you anywhere, right? Time waits for no one. So if you've been thinking about doing something, creating a business or doing something new, I think you are just procrastinating if you're not doing it. That's my honest opinion. You need to leverage what you've got and go for it. And that's my honest opinion. I always think that taking risks is the best way to get ahead in life. So if you think about, like, you're in a great job, you don't want to leave it, it's fantastic, but you're waiting for a promotion, right, to get more money. Sitting in one business, right, working for one employer, waiting around for a promotion is being too cautious. There is no such thing as a promotion from within. The best you're going to get is a cost of living rise. You have to go through one of these ridiculous employee reviews every year, which are basically just the company's way of making you do more for the same money, making you take on more responsibility. I think they're absolutely nonsense, right? And if you ever get a promotion, very rarely, it can be done, but the best way to get a promotion is sidestep or move to a different company, because then you can renegotiate from the off. Now that means taking a risk. Yes, you might lose because you started a new company, which means you'll lose redundancy pay. But you think about it, right, if you've got confidence in but this is about calculated risk, confidence in your ability and skills. If you're the type of, I'm presuming you're the type of person with a growth mindset because you're watching this, and you're a goal achiever and you want to smash your goals, you should have confidence in your ability to then sidestep and jump, or sidestep, or even go self-employed or something like this with your skills, right? And don't be sitting around in one company waiting for a promotion. I did a good video called How Long You Should Stay in Your Job. I don't know if it's in the links, but I can put it later. Have a look on my channel because it's a really good video. I've also got a written article about it on my website, andyholt.co.uk. You'll find a written article about it there with the video inside it as well. It's embedded. That's a really good one where I explore how long you should stay in your job, because staying in one job will not get you anywhere, basically. I mean, that's my opinion. Might do. You'll get some. I don't really think it is secure. I think the best security you've got is when you take matters into your own hands. Don't sort of outsource the responsibility of your future to someone else, such as a company. You should do it for yourself. The only time you should stay in a job is when it really is worth it and you love it and you're getting everything you need out of it and you're learning. If not, take the risk and, make the jump. So yeah, I mean, there's not other than that, what else can I say about taking risks? Like, I'm not a fan of gambling, like literally gambling, casinos, all this stuff. I never do it. I don't even play the lottery. I don't see the point, just because the odds are just, there's not enough odds there. The odds do not make sense. Um, Back to the loss aversion, the look for the asymmetrical upside. In gambling, there is no upside to me going in a casino or playing the lottery. There's no upside. The odds are not in your favour. So, in my opinion, you shouldn't play it. The only time I ever played the lottery was I used to work at a place. I worked for this construction company, and they used to do one of these syndicate whip rounds. I'd come round, ask for a couple of quid. And I actually went into that, once or twice. Some guy come round, there was like 30 of us in it, give him £2. And yeah, we won. Won the lottery. It was a Euro Millions. It was quite a lot. It was like 80 million or something. And yeah, I've not worked since. No, I'm only taking the piss. No, we didn't win that much. I think it was £7.5 grand it was. It weren't bad. But I've never played the lottery other than that time, and we're only like one number away from winning like flipping millions, and I think the number were like 43, and we got number 41, so we nearly won the big time. And I just don't play the lottery. I just can't be arsed. What's the point? That is not even a risk worth taking. I think you're just chucking money away. Same with going to a casino. If you go to a casino, do it for the fun and budget it. You're almost like buying an experience. But I don't even find it fun. So I wouldn't take a risk like that. Things like business, occasionally, I think emotional risks are harder, like relationships and things like that for me. Business is it's just fucking numbers. It's just like, does it look good? Yes, no. Do I think I can make it work? Emotional risks are much harder for most people. And that might be, sometimes you might have to let one person go to let another person in, or it might be a friendship scenario, you know what I mean? Or, yeah, or maybe you invest in, one particular experience over another one or something like this. They're minor, when you have to make a decision and the stakes are so small, look for an out. If you've got an out, a way out, without it costing you too much, go for it. It's like a few years ago, my cousin, I always invested in stocks. I just prefer digital over like property and anything like that. So I always got like stocks and things like stocks and shares. ISAs are great, right? For long-term investment, because there's no tax. But another one was crypto, right? And I just not learned about crypto at all, and I know it's all over the place, and I just think things like that are just recipes. They're like a Ponzi scheme. They're recipes for you to lose a lot of fucking money very quick, because someone makes money. It's like in the stock market. You're not going to beat the market. Everyone tries and you've no chance. That's why I wouldn't do day trading. I have done it and lost a lot of money thinking I was fucking brilliant, and you're not going to beat the market. So when it comes to stock, crypto, like Bitcoin and everything, I should have done it years ago. Anyway, I worked at a place, and when it was like pennies, the guy was like, let's get all the computers in the office running and we'll just mine some Bitcoin and all that. At the time, I was laughing at it. Anyway, a few years ago, my cousin said to me, Sim, she just went, just buy a bit of XRP. And I just trusted her. I just went, all right. Now, that there, I was in it's like, when you're playing poker and you're the chip leader, you've got all the chips and basically got all the money. You're in a strong position. You can afford to risk a little bit on the odd. You can be higher risk because you've got a big financial base. And at the time, I had quite a bit of money, and she just went, just get some XRP. And I just chucked a few a little bit of money on it, you know, without worry. I wasn't even like, I was just like, yeah, go on then, because she's pretty good at stuff like that. I knew she wouldn't have just took a complete flyer on it. So I did. And then I left it, and then it flipping tanked, didn't it? It just went, ugh. I just thought, fuck. So I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to leave it. And I just forgot all about it, right? I just thought, I'll just leave it, forget all about it. And then now it's rocketing up, you know, so there's one. And that was because I was in that position where I had a bit of spare money. And I think this is it. If you're in a position where you can afford to take a risk, right? And let's have a look at when you can afford to take a risk on emotional decisions. Right, so if you're sort of comfortable in your life, you've got your life sorted out, you've got I don't know, like a great lifestyle, a great job, you've got good friends and family around you and things like this, and you're happy in your life, I think that's when you can take a risk emotionally, right, in terms of holding out for the right romantic interest to come along, you know what I mean? You can kind of hold off that's when you can take a good emotional decision, and that is basically scarcity. And funny enough, it's the same issue. Scarcity is the same issue emotionally, financially, absolutely everything, right? So even like if you're looking to invest, what is scarcity when you're investing? It's fear of not being losing that money and not being able to get it back. Now, yes, that is a legitimate fear. But if you look at the investment and you calculate everything and you try and rule out all the potentials of it going wrong, then it's not really a risk, is it? It's just a you know, and yes, you have to, look, if you make a decision, it goes wrong, you have to take it on the chin. And that's it, right? But here's the thing. All you can do, you can't guarantee success. All you can do is create the conditions for success and create the conditions for your own luck, right? So if you calculate everything and you do the right thing the best you can, then you just take it on the chin, you just accept the outcome, and that's it. And it's the same, whether it's financially, whether it's emotionally, you know, in your love life, something like that. Just be in a position where you don't have scarcity, where you know you're making the right decisions because you're thinking about it and it's well thought out and you've got your life sorted out. It's not really about how much money you've got, and if you've got a shit ton of money in the bank, which backs you up, yeah, that does help. But if you haven't got that money, your stakes are smaller, right? You still apply the same logic. Come at this from a logical perspective where you're looking at it and just saying, you know, am I doing the right thing here? Have I got a plan? Do I know? Have I calculated everything, what could go wrong? And am I making the right decisions? And apply some consistency. So I think, yeah, take risks, because in not taking risks, you just get nowhere, right? The only way to get somewhere in life is to take a risk. Just look at asymmetrical upside, create a plan, and go for it. Thank you for watching. All right, go and take some risks. Go and bet your house at the casino. Nah. All right, thanks everyone. See you all next time.